don't need to talk about that. Like, that's too heavy of a, I'm like, no, bitch, we're talking about anything I want to. We're at my house tonight. But it's like, we have to me, if somebody is afraid to have the conversation, I'm looking at them like, you're a closet racist.
Well,
If you're constantly not wanting to be open and honest as a white person, and here's just a clue. I'm just gonna give you a clue. You, and I said this in my other video. If you notice how white people will get around black people and they don't have a lot of experience with having black people in their friendly circle, and they go up an octave and they get super friendly,
mhm.
those people aren't racist. They just don't know how to interact with a black person. They don't have a lot of access to it. So they could swing either way, but I'm telling you right now, if they go up an octave and they're overly friendly and they're trying real hard to be your friend and then they just want to get away, they're nervous. And that's them. When you get around a white person who is not rude, but is standoffish, don't want to talk about anything heavy, keeps everything small talk, they don't like you. And it has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that they're racist. It, racist people, you won't know they're racist because they won't fuck with you. They will avoid you. They won't talk with you. They'll try not to work in your
And before our
circle.
Happy New
They
Year,
will stay
babe.
away from you.
Well, I want to make, I do,
But
I,
it's usually the people who will talk like me that are told, oh, you're a fucking bigot. You're a fucking racist. It's like, no, I respect you enough to ask questions. I respect you enough to want to know. I want to have the conversation, and I'm not afraid if I say something ignorant or stupid because I don't know your experience. I don't know what you're going through. I'm fucking white and I'm ignorant. I'm middle class. Like, so
but
to me, people who are open and having the conversation, those are your least racist people. But those are the people being called out right now and being said, oh, they're the racists, they're the bad guys.
what I'm gonna say is this. Okay, we know, like we've talked about before, I'm a black. I am definitely pro black woman.
Mm-hmm.
My this is gonna piss some black men, black men off. White women. I put white category. I shut the fuck up. Okay,
Right.
stop talking to me about this shit. Stop telling me how you're not racist. I don't give a fuck. Okay,
Right.
I if you're not educating yourself out of ignorance, okay, then
Mm-hmm.
you're still gonna be whatever the fuck it is you are. I'll tell you,
Right.
the reason I read a lot is because I don't want to fucking be. I want to talk about what other and I think I'm saying I have ignorance that I want to get rid of.
Right.
And you can't train that out of somebody. You have to
Right.
you have to learn how to consume information and actually look at information and understand it in the
Mm-hmm.
and process it the best way that they can, and then act make it active in their that
Can you tell me?
ignorance.
Can
And
you tell me?
you know,
Let's say I learned. Let's say I started today,
mhm,
and I invested all of my time and energy into learning history, Black history, white history, American history, all the way back from Africa, Egypt, you name it, all of it. What exactly do you think that's going to do to improve me and my life and the Black people that are in my life?
you will be well informed enough to really understand how you build community from because this is our problem that we kind of started out with, right? We're divided.
Mhm.
Start for me to be able to have this conversation with with let's say white women that I totally don't trust for my own personal reasons,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Hmm.
Things in my world, in my life, with my kids and my this or my that, with my finances,
Hmm.
so that I can have this discussion and keep it G, but at the same time have compassion for you as well. I don't have to agree with you, like you don't have to agree with me.
Right.
But the more you become informed, which is what you're trying to do,
Right.
I that for most white people, whether their voice goes up, I feel
What would a white woman have to say to get that kind of interaction with you?
I feel like they would have to be doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to come correct, honest about what the fuck is going on here, the part that they played today, not yesterday.
Yeah.
I say that George Washington was your fault.
Right. Right.
I your fault. You
Right.
know, I'm also not a slave
Right.
like my ancestors were.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
it's ridiculous to. Of course, I'm not saying, oh, you're all enslavers,
Right.
but you have a colonizer's mindset. White
Hmm.
people a gift for violence, and that's
Yeah.
cool. I ain't mad. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I mean, it's just instinctually somebody pisses me off. I'm getting out of the car.
yeah, but
And if I get angry
I'm saying
enough, it's war for decades.
for somebody not to have the humanity
Hmm.
to be able to set to kidnap a whole human being,
Hmm.
torture them, brand them, cut them, take black men and buck break them. You know what that means?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Hey,
I went to jail. I understand all that stuff. We're still doing that today.
in order for you as one human being to be able to do that to another human being who hasn't done a fucking thing to you,
Hmm.
that is an insidious fucking problem.
Yeah.
You know? And so like you and I'll get in this discussion about how I feel about black men, let's say.
Yeah.
And one of my problems with black men is, guess what? You talk a whole lot of shit, you know, and you say a whole lot of shit about, oh, you single, you single baby mama, and blah blah blah. Motherfucker, how I get here?
Love, here
Right.
is your
I didn't
reminder.
do it.
Love, take your
But
meds.
oh, but you want to say black women are the
Love,
whole
here is your
reason
reminder.
why
Love,
the
take your
black
meds.
community has
Hell yeah.
broken down.
Can I
Oh no,
have
we're
that?
part of the reason, and we accept and we are working on ourselves, which is why we're the most highly educated individuals in this country right now.
That's right.
So for you to say to me, I've had black men say, once my sperm leaves my body, not my problem. Oh, really? Oh, it's not? So whatever a black woman, if she ends up having a child, how's that? You know, and at the same time that you, there are some good black men, good God, don't anybody come over here talking this shit.
Yeah.
I am not talking about every black man, but
Yeah.
for those of you that this is getting under your crawl and you have
Yeah.
whatever, well, I'm tired of you talking shit about black women. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
You don't like us? Get the fuck on.
I am just, I, that, if I get nothing from this, if I get nothing from this, that right there, what black men say about black women blows my fucking mind.
Hey,
But I wanted to
yeah,
say,
goodbye. Goodbye. So you see what I'm saying? Like
yes,
I
yes,
I understand. I was raised as a black woman to protect black men. I have a black son. Okay. But that's a part of our problem as black women that we're having to work on. You want to be a leader, motherfucker, you go lead. But
yeah,
I'm saying the shit. I don't submit to white
right?
women, and I don't submit to
On
you.
text.
My
I
husband,
said, this nigga
white dude,
also
he
like
ain't
this
never
guy.
asked
So
me to
I just
submit to
say, you know,
shit
and
because
because
Yeah,
he
feels like that, right?
getting it.
And so
that's
I've
right.
been
You know what I'm
saying, and he been
saying?
buying a whole lot of
So
crazy stuff, you
I
know, doing the
I really
AMC and stuff
think
like that, because
that
nothing crazy,
that's why
right? And so
conversations are
anyway,
so
then he
important
took
when we
he
can
had
each
such
take
faith in all
responsibility
these policies,
for
Hmm.
and he says, I'm going to try to
things
open some of these
and
stores
where we
in the
want to go
business, right?
with it.
He was
Yeah.
Right.
supposed to be on
My,
that list.
you know, and
Listen, it's so
what I
fucking bad. He wasn't gonna
understand
do nothing in the
from
business
what
until
you
he got rid
said
of them
is,
debts.
and I
And then
get
as
it.
we started
You
doing
are
drops on
very
these steps,
much
I said,
about
you know,
education.
fine with you definitely
But
hire other people,
what I
right? So
want to
let's
tell
run this
you
business, right?
is
And so I said,
there's
let's go
some
on the
things you
path
can't be
of us
taught,
running this business,
and
right?
it's your
And I
heart,
said, and
and it's your
I will
soul.
help, I will be the
And
leader of this business. So
I
let's start
am
running
not
this
an
business,
educated
right? And get
person.
on that now
I'm a
and that's
get in where you
so
fit in and
so
fucking
anyway,
fight to get everything you
fast
need,
forward, right?
and you'll be
It's
fine. And
Christmas.
that's
It's
just
like,
what
yeah, it's
I've
okay.
had
I
to do.
presented with the 4%
And I'm way
certificate. Thank you so much,
beyond,
Shannon,
college now.
for
But
sharing the
I'm
screen with me.
coming, I
Thank you so much. I
came from
appreciate you.
this
So
by
anyway, so
accident.
I presented with his
I've
Christmas
always had the
certificates,
heart of,
right?
I raised my
And
kids,
he's
you
so
are no better
excited.
than nobody
He
else,
knew
and
I was
neither
going
am
to be there.
I. We are
And
a little bit
Shannon,
of everything. We have,
fucking me.
I've
He said, that's
exposed
the
them
part
to
that
as
comes
many
with it.
different
I
people as I
really
possibly can because you love who you love.
Yeah.
However, I stumbled upon this by accident, really just watching, men and women's interaction and this Black Lives Matter thing, getting in my head and me having too much time on my hands. We are able to talk and communicate, and we are probably so polar opposite that we shouldn't even be
Not
communicating.
even one.
And
You
you
got
and
it?
I can talk for hours
Yes.
and
Oh,
and
baby
we
steps.
respect each other enough to talk, communicate. We
Listen,
don't have to agree. We're
and
not getting heated. We're not going back and forth. We just keep it going. And
yeah,
it's not because
Stop playing with
I
me.
educated myself or that I even
Oh, you
want
just
to
need a
educate
friend.
myself. It's that I see you as a human being. I see you like me. I'm not uh, superior to you and I'm not inferior to you. We have our strengths and I respect you. And I don't know you. I know just what we've talked about
Look.
on our phone calls.
yes.
And it didn't take anything but us just talking.
Are you trying to be
And
nice?
you can't teach somebody
Where'd you
that.
have it? Up your
Yeah.
ass?
History is
Yeah.
important. Educating yourself and me, it doesn't take an education for me to look at you and understand who you are and your plights and what you need from me and society, period. If we continue to have the conversation of white women need to shut the fuck up until they prove that they're not out to get me, which I agree, I fucking hate white women. But at the end of the day, if we continue that, we will never get together. And we need to get together. And we either need to find the good ones and get where that and combine, or we need to at least weed out the dumbasses. But one way or another, we have to find a way to get what you and I got going on.
Yeah. Because
And I've got hundreds of women who came over to my channel and have been supporting me, watching my videos, subscribing for no other reason than I just told the truth. And they don't know that I'm telling the truth, but they feel me. And they didn't feel like I was demeaning them, lying to them, pandering to them, or disrespecting them. Because I had enough respect for Black women to just have the conversation. Period.
and I think that's where we're like this, you know.
Yeah.
For me as a black woman who in general is dead set against white women and black men, I think they should all go off to an
Hi,
army
nephew,
together
son.
too. That's I'm a black opens his mouth, I hear a white woman talking. So I think you got, you don't like us, good. The ones of you who don't, get the fuck on. I'm good.
Yeah.
But I want you to stay the fuck away from my daughter because I silence white people.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fuck you up if you come anywhere near my daughter.
Yeah.
Um, so I think for us as black women, one of the things that is important to me is that internally we learn to protect black women and black girls.
Yeah.
Um, and that's on all sides because we have left black women and black girls unprotected. Now, on the side of what we're talking about when it comes to me, let's say with white women or whatever, it it is important to me that not only are we doing what we're doing, or that I do that on Clubhouse or wherever I go, but also that the women that I talk to come at approach it in the way you do.
Yeah.
They're sitting there and they're saying, okay, I'm an accountable, responsible person. I'm going to tell you where I'm coming from. Here's where I'm going, and that's it.
You
No
can
one's
tell that
saying
to Trump and his
what I
kids,
did. Don't even try it.
right?
I can't do half of the dumb shit that like swims around in my head in the middle of the night. But what I am saying is we appreciate um we appreciate the honesty and being able to have a conversation
Yeah.
where, oh, I got my feelings hurt and oh my
Yeah.
I'll
god,
get it for you.
what do you
Yeah.
say? We
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
boss up. Okay.
Yeah, and that's part of the I don't understand the whole, like, there are things that get under my skin, but never is it somebody telling me how they feel or something that I'm doing or my neighbor's doing that makes them feel a certain way. Why in the fuck am I going to get upset by that? You need to figure that out and do better. Do better. I may never be able to please you. You may just be that you just don't like me or my behavior. And it probably has nothing to do with me being white. It probably has everything to do with we just don't gel. But at the end of the day, I'm going to hear what you have to say and I'm going to correct my behavior. And if you need me to ride with you, I'm going to ride with you. But, I think it's one person at a time. We can't get 10 white women on board with us and then all of a sudden we're going to change the world. It's person to person. It's person to person. One thing that I think needs to be done is black women need to be the focus. They need to
See,
be pushed to the forefront. We have to stop. And black men, every time I get into
remember I
conversations with
told you there
black
was a
men, we
black
go
lady
on
that
this
the
history
Christmas
lesson.
she gave her
And if
kids,
I felt for 1 minute that it was going to be
21
like my
acres.
conversation with you, where we
This black
go on a
woman gave
history
her
lesson, but
kids,
it's
that
to
was their
lead
Christmas
to a
present. She
solution
bought
or
them
to
21
lead to
acres of
why
land.
this is the way that it is based off of this.
And she
Or
was
I
single
feel
mom,
this way because this is what's happened historically,
you know.
and I'm
And the
seeing
kids are
that
like,
behaviors in a very
I want to say there's
covert
3 or
way
4 of them, but
happening to me
they're
now.
like
And so until I see a
teenagers
different
on
behavior
down,
or I
like
understand
to the
why you're
little
doing
kids.
what you're doing, I'm going to
And
assume that
so
what happened back then
she
is
bought
what's
him this
happening now.
this stuff, and she
Black men don't
posted
want
that
to
she
do
bought,
that. They want
oh,
to tell the history
I
lesson
finally
and
did
then
it,
everybody feel bad for
and
them. That's
and
why they're able
she
to
just
walk away
showed
from their women with
a thing,
and
a
not
picture with
pay.
her and her kids
That's why they're
that
able to
says,
cheat and
you
lie and
you know,
steal and
she
shoot,
owns this 21,
kill,
or they
and
do, or
do
whatever.
whatever they want and get away with it.
And
Not
of
have to pay
course,
child
people
support,
have a
not have
lot
to
to
pay
say
back
that's just going to
fucking
happen on
welfare, not
social
have to.
media,
That's not
but
happening in any
it's
other
a
community. Well, the Hispanics, but
it
No,
if a white man's
shows
woman, if a white
what
man walks
it
away from
shows in
his
a bigger
children
way
and he's
what
working,
people go through on an
if she
individual
has to get
basis.
welfare because this
So on the one
deadbeat's
hand,
not
you have
fucking
people
paying,
going,
welfare comes
you
after
call
him.
that a Christmas
He's
present?
going to jail. He's losing his
Um,
license.
how is
He'll
that
lose
gonna
his
feel
job.
like to them
He'll
if they
have his
didn't get,
taxes. His
actual
new
toys
woman
and
will
this
be
and that?
paying for it. How are black men able to get
You know
away
what I'm
with that?
saying? Like,
Why? Because of the victim
and
story and
oh,
they're the focus.
you just
Black
bragging
women have
and
been
blah
made to
blah
be the
blah.
problem and the
Okay,
black man's
and
been
then on
made
the
to be
other
the
hand,
victim. And he
you
wants to
do have
keep
black
doing
women
that
on the other
because
hand
he's
said, no,
he's
that's
not
really
only
good.
stealing from
and
society,
and
he's
then
stealing from his people, his
you have
children.
them
And
saying,
so
but you shouldn't have,
you know
you
what?
should
What's
move in
so
stealth.
insidious
You
about it?
shouldn't say it out loud.
You're so right.
You shouldn't tell
Like
anybody that
that.
that's what
You're
you did,
coming from it from a whole
because
different perspective and
then
seeing it
they'll
from a
try to
whole
come get
different
your stuff or
direction,
come
but it
after
all
you and
amounts to the
this and
same
that.
thing.
yeah.
The problem,
So
I mean, I could go into what I've done for
if the
black
running
men specifically to
thing
help them or
in
to,
general
you know,
about
um,
black women
you
is
know,
that
be an activist
we're
and things
angry,
like that.
we're
And
lazy, they're all
I
on
have the same
welfare.
problem that
They
a
ain't
lot of
do,
black
you know what I'm
mothers, a
saying?
lot of black women, a lot of
And
whoever,
you go to change that
we
narrative just by
are
showing a
are
picture of you
understanding that we
buying
have
this much property for your
created
kids.
a
Okay?
a problem, not in that we're single mothers or whatever, but we've
Why
created
is
a
it a
problem
problem?
in that we are always the
Why
vanguard
do we why
for
do
black men. You know
any
how
of
many
us
black women have been
need
shot
to be doing
by
anything but saying,
cops? No one
girl,
gives a fuck.
No one talks about
how
it.
you do it?
No,
I
you know
want to
how
do
many of
that.
us as
Damn.
black women are out
That's
doing all that
badass. For
for other
real,
black women?
your
Okay,
kids
we're not.
are
One of the things that
so
we're having to look at
um
as like activists and things
they're
like that as
so
black
loved,
women
you
is
know,
that
by their mom.
we have
You know what I'm
not
saying?
done
And
that
so
for
some of
black
these girls were
women.
talking about
We
this
have a femicide rate, and all hail
Clubhouse, right?
to
And they were
Black
saying, well, yeah, she
Femicide
shouldn't have said
US,
anything,
Miss
and blah blah
Rosa,
blah. And so
but we have a
I
Black
wasn't up on
femicide
stage. I
rate
just sent the
of
moderator
every
a note to say,
5 to 6 hours that we are
well,
being murdered
why
by
can't
one of
she?
our own
You
men
know what I'm saying?
every day.
Why can't she hype
So
herself?
I,
This is part
I
of the
don't
problem.
understand
You know, you
how
can't
you want me to
tie
have a
black
conversation
femicide
as black men with
or black
me
women
and tell
being
me to
killed or
submit
murdered
when
because they have
you're not even
something
standing
with
up
having
to
something.
stop.
Because
If you're
then
a
the
so-called
message
good
is what
black
it's
man,
always been
then why
is
ain't your ass standing
don't,
up
you know,
to
just
stop
keep
this
your head
behavior
down,
of
don't do
other
this,
black
don't do
men?
that.
I
And
But
clicked
then
on that video.
if you
I clicked
don't
on that
let people
video
know that you
because the
did
word
great
submit was
things,
in the title.
right?
dear God,
They can
I'm
make
just
their
like,
own
who
narrative
the
about you.
fuck, as a
And the problem
man,
with the
is
narrative
stupid
is
enough to get
that
on the
policies
internet
follow
and
that,
approach a bunch of
and
women,
and
regardless of
laws
what color these
enforcement
people
follow
are,
that.
and think he's going to have a conversation, even with the weakest of women, and say,
So
this is the
I
problem with
feel
you
like,
because you're not
and this is just
submitting.
me, black women, that's something
and
you
and I'm
need
Even the
to
weakest of
change.
but
women would be
And black
offended
men,
by
you
that.
shouldn't be
That
getting on
blew
here
my
talking no type
fucking
of
mind.
shit to
but what
this
am I?
What
black
man?
woman. Oh, you just a baby
What
mama.
are you
Shut the
doing
fuck
that
up.
should submit
And then
to?
I also said, you know
So
what
if
though?
I get so the one
When
thing
did you
for
guys
all of
hear
you
about
black
her
men who are getting ready
before
to have a
she
whole
posted
fucking
this picture?
problem and a fit and get on the floor and have a tizzy or
Whatever
whatever
she
the fuck you
did
do,
to get
let me
to
give you a
this point
problem,
where she
black
gave her
men,
children
that
this
you can
wealth,
solve
wealth.
and show us what kind of leader
She did
you are.
quietly
Because
because
this
we ain't never heard of
entire
her.
black community, black
Now when she
women are
reaches this
dying
goal, she
three to
still
four
can't
times
say nothing
more than
because
white
it could make
women
people
going
jealous
into
or make
the
people put them
hospital
after.
and
Come,
having
bitch.
children. You don't
You
have
need
an
to know
idea
that
it's
really
to be
this is
pregnant,
what
what
single
it is
black
to
mothers are
create
doing.
an entire human
We
being.
out here
You think
whooping
it's something
ass.
like this, motherfucker? It's not. That's a
We out here
whole.
getting
The
shit. We
fact
out
of
here
the
working
matter
our
is they don't
asses
have
off.
a
We're
value
raising
on that
children.
period. They don't even need
We're
to
trying to
create it.
raise them
They
to be
don't have
good
a
human
fucking
beings and all
value
this
on
shit.
it, period.
And
But if
all we
you
get is
leaders, if
fucking
you black men are
naysayers.
leaders,
When we
I'm gonna need
when
you to
we
solve this problem
when we don't make it,
because
it's a whole
black
bunch of
babies
shit.
are dying
When we
twice
do
as
make it,
much
it's a whole
as
bunch of
white
shit.
babies.
Shut
Okay,
the fuck
and don't
up.
call this an educational problem because the woman who's
Leave this
white
woman the fuck
actually
alone. Give her
has
props
has
and leave
more
her
of a
alone.
chance of their
Why
child
can't
dying
I
if
just
she's
don't
married to you.
understand.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Because if a
if
white
it's
woman
a
did that,
black
you wouldn't have
woman
a problem.
and
If a white
she's
man
having
did
a
that, you wouldn't
quote
have a
unquote
problem. If a
biracial
black
child,
man
because I
did
hate
that, you
that
wouldn't
shit.
have a problem.
Black women have black children or mixed children. Okay, cut it out.
Right. Right.
But um, but if we're having a black child, let's say if the
So
child
when
is
I
mixed,
see this
that
guy,
child
because
that child's death rate goes
his
down.
Yeah.
nephew,
So there's a problem here.
they're in
What we're
California
seeing
now,
here
where he
is
lives,
that
where the
when black
Uncle
women
Daddy live or whatever. But
who don't date
his
outside their race like
nephew
black
is
men,
from
black
back
men date
east,
outside
back
our
this way,
race 2 to 3 times more
and
than we do.
the kid
Yeah.
And you
didn't want to go to
divorce,
college. He wanted to do this. So
your divorce
this
rate
man, this
up,
gay dude,
Yep.
has let other
okay,
family
when
members
you
come and
date
live
outside
with
of
him.
your
Well,
race.
they aren't
But
doing well with black women.
but
They ain't
But
doing well
you
with
know,
white
this is the
women. They
thing.
ain't doing
This
well
is
with
also
Asian
the thing
women.
I'm gonna
So
say
if
about
everybody's got a
LGBTQ,
problem with you,
whatever,
yeah,
homie,
whatever,
maybe
whatever.
you're the
Listen,
fucking problem, right?
okay, yeah,
this
and you leave them
man
off. You don't
puts a
Yeah.
lot of time
you
and
haven't
work
you
into this
haven't had
kid.
a preference as black
And even
that
though this
you
kid
haven't
didn't want to
left
go to
either.
college, he
Okay,
wanted
Yeah.
to learn his uncle's
tell
business.
you right now,
His
I want you to
uncle's like,
come
yeah,
back
but
and
you
since
ain't
if
fucking
you want to
around.
that I
Ain't no
need you
do
to
no fucking
solve
around.
a leadership problem.
What's
I
happening
need you
is
to
you
work
gonna
on
learn the business
ensuring that
and you
black
gonna work.
women do not
So he made him go to work
die
on the
during
ground level
pregnancy,
making calls and shit.
childbirth,
You know what
or
I'm
a
saying?
year after, and
But the
neither do black
kid
children.
is
Because
he wants to
if
learn,
you
you
really
know,
want to do
more of
something
the business.
about
Now,
what's
like he
going
said,
on in
he
the
became
black
this kid became a
community,
top
stop
seller.
whining and talking
He's doing
shit
the work.
and step
And
up
like you
into a
said, he
leadership.
gets up at 6. He
Just
goes from
because
Yep.
you
6 to 8
don't
at night.
have
I don't
children
know
doesn't
motherfuckers that
mean
do that
that
and they full
your
grown.
fucking asses will not be
So
wiped
basically,
out
he's
if
had this
we
kid for
keep
2
dying.
years.
Yeah.
And he's
And
been
And
giving
I
him a
can
lot of
assure you,
lessons. There's times when
a
he
real
goes
man's
off
going
on
to
his
make sure that
kids
his women
about
and
his kids'
children are free before
girlfriends
he
or
is.
whatever the
yeah,
fuck.
so
And like, you don't accept that
And I
type of
don't know
shit from a
any man
girl. And you
that
know,
I don't know
he
any
goes
man
completely
that's not going to
off
protect
on
his
this kid
women
when
and
he feels like
children,
he's
solve
going in the
all the
wrong
fucking problems
direction.
for his women and
But then he'll
children
bring them back.
before he's
I
getting
don't
himself out of the
know.
fucking boat.
I don't
and stop
know
calling black
that
women names. I don't give a fuck what you call me. But
that
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
stop calling
a
us
lot
names.
of the
You don't
heterosexual
get to
Yeah.
this
parents are
fuck
as
I'm
good as
called.
he is
Okay?
Hmm.
with what
White
he's doing
women,
with
you
this
don't
kid.
get to decide what the fuck I'm called.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have nothing to do with my
And over time,
black
you
men
know,
don't
his
either.
whole
I
family
don't
Yeah.
has accepted that
even
he
think I'm
himself is
masculine.
gay.
I've done what I had
But
to do as a
you know,
Yeah.
single,
he had to struggle.
and I
Yeah.
two great children.
But
So I'm not gonna sit here
when
and
he
listen to the
did
likes of
whatever
who
and
the
started
fuck
making his
ever
money with the
Yeah.
about
insurance business
about
that he
I
built,
had to do. Oh,
he helped
you're
other
being.
family
I think
members.
you're masculine energy, motherfucker.
He
I had
brought this
two
kid,
children.
said, okay, you
I
can come live with
literally
me,
grew
you know,
two humans
if your
in my
mom
body
is okay
by
with that and, you know,
myself.
Yeah.
whatever. I think his mom
Okay.
is his
Anybody who's
stepdaughter.
threatened by that has a
So
confidence issue, and
I'm
that's
just
on them.
telling
My
you,
husband
you can't
loves the
win for
fact that
losing, man.
that I'm got that I have masculine energy.
Well,
I think he's on
He's
task
like,
as
I have the most fun with
a
you
parent.
because you are so strong, because you have masculine energy.
I
My husband loves the fact that I'm an angry white woman. I
yeah.
mean,
People call what you call me. What I don't give a fuck what you do. As long as you don't
yeah,
fuck with my family,
yeah,
money, brand, we ain't gonna have problems
yeah,
personally. But what
yeah,
I say in again for black women to uplift black women is we if a motherfucker wants you to submit, then they need to solve that problem
yeah,
first. And they need to tell me what they're building within their own life before I come along. Because I
yeah.
see built my shit. And I already gave it to my children. And by the way, motherfuckers, this is for black. By one more thing. The most feminine thing you can do is have children.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I call these incredible black women who are single parents, baby mamas. Don't put that on them as if they're nothing, and
Yeah,
they're nothing. Even
yeah.
though,
That whole baby mama thing is just an attempt to demean them,
yeah,
lower their status and their relevancy as a baby mama.
and I'm just not gonna do it. And so when I have these conversations and then I take it to a point where I take it back into history, I think it's important for me personally to have, I'm not just arguing back and forth with
Yeah.
black either. I'm just telling you there's a fucking problem, and I'm one black woman that's not getting with it. I am gonna uplift women. I am gonna uplift black girls, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stand in goddess born warrior status, and I don't give a fuck who comes up against me.
Hmm.
My husband can't come up against me. I'm
Hmm.
in line. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, he's a simp. I don't give a fuck what you call him. He put some money in the bank. Fuck you.
I tell people all the time who say, "Oh, somebody said in my comment section, oh, we see who wears the pants." It's like, do you know how strong that motherfucker has to be to deal with somebody like me? Because I'll tell you what, it ain't very often, but if
No,
I get out of hand, my husband's the only motherfucker on this planet that can shut me the fuck up real quick. So my mom couldn't do it, my dad could, no one can do it. And that motherfucker's got the power to just be like,
and my
so.
same way.
Come on with it if you think he's a pussy. Come on with it, because he's got some for you.
Yeah, he's not playing either. He really
Yep.
ain't. And
Yep.
so I need for Black women to know you're important and you
Yes.
and to the discussion of CRT, I do think we're having a great discussion. I hope that other people join in
Yes.
channel and your viewers, and they say some things that are going to help us find solutions so the next
Yeah.
time we can
And
talk.
I think that we need to to find some answers for people and how they can address school boards, what to do if they need resources, and kind of come up with some solutions amongst ourselves to just kind of fucking get involved.
Yeah.